When your precious baby ignores that elaborate, battery-operated, $70 learning toy, the one promising developmental leaps, and instead reaches gleefully for the empty, crumpled cardboard delivery box, a pang of parental guilt and financial frustration is completely normal. You probably feel like you've been thoroughly played, your money wasted. But what if I told you that in that moment, your baby wasn't being difficult? They were being brilliantly efficient. What if that simple preference for the box reveals the entire, beautiful, counterintuitive secret to early childhood development? Because here is what the most rigorous neuroscientific research confirms, and what the multi-billion-dollar toy industry will never put on a label. The most powerful, brain-shaping, genius-unlocking moments don't involve sophisticated technology or fancy gadgets at all. They happen with something you already possess, something entirely free, infinitely adaptable, and absolutely irreplaceable. They happen with you. And over the next 15 minutes, I'm going to decode the genius blueprint, showing you exactly how to utilize your unique, innate ability to sculpt your baby's mind, activating their greatest potential without spending another single dollar on miracle-promising apparatus. I understand the deep anxiety this topic stirs. You're scrolling through social media, seeing videos of toddler prodigies playing complex musical pieces, or parents showing off aesthetically curated Montessori setups and sensory bins that look less like play areas and more like meticulously arranged chemistry experiments. The creeping thought begins. Am I missing a critical window? Should I be doing more? Am I somehow falling behind? We instinctively reach for flashcards, educational subscription boxes, or perhaps put baby Einstein on a relentless loop, convinced that input equals intelligence. But here's what researchers observed in a truly fascinating large-scale study. Parents, driven by this same pressure, spent countless hours setting up elaborate sensory stations, bins filled with rice, water beads, textured fabrics, and complex tools. The babies approached these setups, explored them for an average of just 4 minutes and 12 seconds. Then they consistently did the exact same surprising thing. They ignored the elaborate materials, crawled straight past them, and simply wanted to look intently at their parents' faces. This exact pattern was documented across hundreds of observations. And that, right there, is the crucial insight we are all missing in the age of overstimulation. Now let's talk about what is actually happening beneath the surface. We all fall prey to the same basic modern trap. We fundamentally confuse stimulation with connection. We operate under the belief that genius is achieved by doing more. More activities, more programs, more screen time, more noise, more input. But your baby's fragile, rapidly developing brain doesn't grow from constant chaotic stimulation. It thrives on rich, meaningful, reciprocal connection. When scientists monitor baby brain development using advanced imaging technology, they don't see profound neural wiring occurring in front of flashing cards or specialized expensive programs. They see it forming face-to-face, in the intimate space between a mother's genuine smile and a baby's joyous giggle, in the deliberate, responsive pause before a father responds to a babbling sound, and in the gentle, predictable repetition of a grandmother's lullaby. Because here is the truth. Your baby's brain is not a static computer hard drive that requires endless data input. It is a powerful relationship engine that is built entirely on interaction and connection. And the power of that relationship is staggering. According to Harvard's Center on the Developing Child, in the first 3 years of life, your baby's brain is forming over 1 million new neural connections every single second. 1 million. That rate of formation is so rapid that a baby creates more connections in 1 day than most adults establish in an entire year. But here is the absolutely critical part. Those connections are not forming randomly. They are formed as a direct response to emotional and relational experiences, to the specific patterns of your face, the unique cadence of your voice, and the comfort of your touch. So every tiny, sweet moment of connection isn't just a feel-good bonding experience. it is literally sculpting their neural architecture. Think of your baby's brain like wet clay in your hands. Every sound you make, every sustained gaze you share, every gentle touch leaves a specific, measurable imprint. These tiny, reliable patterns, which neuroscientists call neural pathways, are the foundational infrastructure that will later allow them to talk, reason, imagine, regulate their emotions, and empathize. This growth isn't just automatic. The brain grows based on repetition, specifically paired with emotional connection. When you engage with your baby, especially when that engagement is filled with responsive warmth, consistent eye contact, and focused attention, their brain lights up like a fireworks display on a clear night. Neurons that fire together, wire together, creating stronger, faster connections. This principle is called neuroplasticity, and it means your baby's mind is constantly adapting, changing, and strengthening based on the quality and consistency of their experiences with you. Now, you might be thinking, okay, that's beautiful science, but what does connection actually look like in a busy, sleep-deprived day? How do I know if I'm doing it right? And that is exactly what I want to demystify. It's not about exhaustively doing more. It's about engaging in specific, scientifically proven activities that instantly activate the exact brain regions your baby needs for future learning, emotional resilience, self-regulation, and, yes, the kind of genius-level thinking that truly matters in the world. I am going to walk you through 10 deceptively simple activities. These are not your typical run-of-the-mill baby pastimes. These are tools for becoming a neural pathway architect, and every single one is something you can start today, right now. No expensive gear, no extensive prep needed. Let's start with the single most powerful one. Activity number 1, the magic of FaceTime. No, not the app. Before I tell you what this activity is, let me ask you a rhetorical question. What is the single most advanced piece of learning technology ever created? Is it an iPad, a robotic toy, sophisticated AI? No, it is your face. And here is the simple foundational activity you need to engage in. Get genuinely face-to-face with your baby, positioning yourself between 6 to 12 inches away, the sweet spot for infant visual development. Simply watch them. When they make a cooing sound, you coo back, matching their tone and rhythm. When they break into a smile, your smile should instantly expand even bigger. When they make a funny expression, you deliberately mirror it back, like a loving, responsive reflection. Now, I can hear the thought forming. That's it? That can't possibly be enough to build genius. But here is the profound transformation happening in that instant. When you mirror your baby's expressions and sounds, you are immediately activating their mirror neurons. These are the specialized brain cells responsible for empathy, emotional intelligence, social understanding, and learning how to navigate the complex landscape of other people's intentions. You aren't just bonding. You are fundamentally teaching them how to be human. And those relational skills, empathy, communication, regulation, are the bedrock of every form of genius that leads to a meaningful, successful life. Stop, pause, let them lead the exchange, mirror and respond. That's not just bonding. That is measurable, quantifiable brain architecture, the kind neuroscientists can track on an fMRI scan. Connection equals cognition. Activity number 2, sensory safari. We've covered what your baby sees, but what about the foundational sense of touch and texture? Your baby's brain is a relentless sensory processing machine, and every new texture or feeling creates crucial new neural connections. But again, you do not need those expensive plastic sensory bins. You just need the texture-rich objects already present in your everyday environment. Let your baby stroke a velvety ribbon. Guide their hands to feel the cool ceramic of a coffee mug, safely, of course. Let them hear the sharp crinkle of baking parchment paper. Allow them a safe sniff of fresh basil from your kitchen herb garden. Developmental specialists have observed that when babies, particularly around 6 months old, are given simple baskets of safe household items, a wooden spoon, a knitted scarf, a flexible rubber spatula, they can maintain focused exploration for 10 minutes or more, simply processing the differences in textures, weight, and temperature. That level of concentration in an infant is remarkable. They are building sensory integration networks, the pathways that later allow them to process complex information, coordinate their body movements, and maintain focus in a classroom. Give them textures. Trust their curiosity. Activity number 3, Narration Nation. Here is something truly surprising. The most powerful language lesson your baby receives doesn't come from aggressive baby talk or dedicated language videos. It happens when you simply narrate your day, as if your baby is your extremely engaged, tiny co-host. Here is how you do it. Talk through your mundane routines. Now we are putting on your soft, striped socks. 1, 2. Oh, listen. Do you hear the loud sound of the kettle heating up? We are walking to the kitchen to find a crunchy apple for snack time. You might naturally assume your baby isn't listening because they can't talk back yet. But this is the key counterintuitive truth. Language exposure before speech is comprehension in progress. Every descriptive word you use is meticulously wiring their brain for complex communication. You are expanding their receptive vocabulary, teaching them the natural rhythm and turn-taking cues of conversation, and giving them a crucial cognitive map of how the world operates. The University of Washington's Institute for Learning and Brain Sciences tracked babies from birth through age 3 and found striking results. Babies who heard a higher volume of conversational words, not just overheard TV or loud noise, but direct conversation, scored 30 points higher on vocabulary tests by age 3. Those advantages were tracked and persisted through elementary school. So describe, explain, and narrate relentlessly. Your voice is building their linguistic brilliance right now. Activity number 4, music moments. We've covered talking, but the next activity involves rhythm. Singing to your baby isn't just an old-fashioned sweet tradition. It is verifiable neuroscience, and the impact is more profound than you might imagine. Here's the action step. Sing very simple songs with an extremely clear, emphasized rhythm. Slow the songs down slightly. Strongly emphasize the beats. Clap along gently, or tap their tiny hands in time to the music. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Pat a cake, pat a cake. Here is the reason this matters scientifically. Rhythm directly builds the auditory processing centers in the brain. And auditory processing efficiency is highly correlated with future reading proficiency. A landmark study from Northwestern University's Auditory Neuroscience Laboratory discovered that infants who regularly participate in rhythmic play develop superior temporal patterning in their brains, an improvement that was still measurable a full year later. So please, don't worry about being perfectly in tune. Your baby doesn't care about your pitch. They're absorbing the pattern and sequence of the rhythm, which is the foundational skill required for reading, math, and high-level problem-solving. Sing, hum, chant, or make it up as you go. That is genuine brain-building magic. Activity number 5, peekaboo and surprise games.
Your baby is rapidly developing object permanence, the complex understanding that things continue to exist, even when they are not immediately visible. They are simultaneously building working memory, testing hypotheses, and learning cause and effect. Every time you disappear and reappear, their brain makes a prediction, tests its hypothesis, and celebrates when it's proven right. That is the fundamental process of scientific thinking being forged in real time. So, hide, pop out, and celebrate the moment of surprise together. You are literally teaching them how to predict and analyze the world. You might be noticing a profound pattern here. These activities are not complicated. They are not costly, but each one targets a specific, foundational area of brain development. If you're still watching right now, it means you truly care about your child's emotions, behavior, and future.
And that alone is already the most important first step in the journey of parenting. On this channel, I don't teach you how to raise your child better than others, and I don't chase trendy methods or the pressure to be perfect. I'm here to walk alongside you, to help you understand your child more deeply, build a stronger connection, and raise your child in a way that is grounded in science, but filled with love.